And welcome, everybody. It's Thursday, time for our travel talk. And so today I am wearing my Hawaiian dress. It's the only time I get to wear it unless I'm in Hawaii. And I am so glad you've chosen to spend this time with us today. I am Diane Cook, the owner and principal travel designer for Seven Seas to Sea Travel. I specialize in not so usual travel adventures. So today I really wanted to bring you Hawaii in a very unique way. This is not Waikiki Beach, and this is really off the beaten path. And I am so thrilled to have my guest from UnCruise Adventures join me today, my colleague Julie. And she has been with UnCruise for over 6 years, and before that was with another expedition cruise company in the Western US. And she currently is in Arizona, so she doesn't even live on a waterfront, which makes me laugh. But and we were joking before because her background is Alaska, of course, which they are promoting full on for this Alaska season coming up. But so we've got fire and ice going on, and I'm trying to create the vision of being in the Hawaiian water. So thank you for being here. Just settle back, and I look forward to listening. And any questions you have, you can put them in the chat, or you can email them to me. I don't know for sure if we'll have time to take them up, but if you think of something, just throw it in the chat, and I'll be sure to get back to you. And so, Julie, you can take it away.
All righty. Thank you so much, Diane, and thank you all for coming. Diane, I'm just double checking that you could see my home screen here.
I can, yes.
Okay, terrific. My little green line went away. So welcome everybody for a little bit of aloha, and of course our Alaska on the decks of the ship of Alaska behind me. For the presentation, I'm just going to stop my videos to just help with my bandwidth, but let's start talking about the beautiful aloha from UnCruise Adventures. In today's webinar, we're going to explore our 7-night, 8-day cruise Hawaii Islands on board our 36-passenger yacht. So let's take a look. Let's go into Hawaii and check this area out here. We visit 4 islands in 7 days. And the first stop, you would either fly into Kona, and then we'll sail into Molokai, or go to Molokai into Kona, visiting both Lana'i and Maui. And it's a very uncruise way to really sail into some of the diverse and backcountry stops, not doing mainstream, which Diane's so great at hosting, but really getting into some of the local culture, the wilderness, the wildlife. That's all that we focus on with UnCruise Adventures. So the 3 pillars that makes up our entire company, whether we're going to Hawaii or Alaska or one of our other destinations, are these 3 pillars. Now, that first one's adventure. Certainly, adventure means to go out and stretch your legs, and we feature everything from the novice all the way to the enthusiast, but it also taps into your passion, your mind, that willingness to want to explore areas that you wouldn't have access if you didn't know a person like our fine Diane, or know companies like UnCruise Adventures. So really having that soft adventure piece, part of mindset to get out and explore an area. The place, when UnCruise tries to find a place, we again look for those unique areas to explore. And then connection, not only connecting with your fellow shipmates, but crew on board, but also the authentic beauty of the destination, the culture, the wildlife. That's why you're there, to explore that destination. Now, with UnCruise Adventures, we have included activities. They're all planned and managed by our expedition leaders. And the whole idea with our included activities is this is how we get to see all that great culture and wildlife and marine life. So we'll have kayaks on board, snorkeling. We have these small inflatable boats we call skiffs. We have paddle boards. We have nature walks of all different levels designed to whatever your adventure day wants to include. If you've never been on a kayak, we have a Kayak 101 course. If you are curious to, we have got several different levels of hiking. What one do you want to do? And they can customize your day with working with our expedition leaders on the activities that we would want to explore in that day. So let's get started. Hawaiian Seascapes will run starting this November. Now, I know we're in a very unique year where we aren't quite sure, A, if we can leave our country, B, if we can get into some of these destinations. But this is the beautiful thing about knowing Diane is that she has her finger on the pulse beat of all that's going on in the travel community. So let's just feature our Hawaii program that we are going to start in November. And day by day, the world is changing, and hopefully borders will open and we can all get out and do all this great stuff. We do cruise in our 36 passenger yacht. That's only 18 cabins. So if you're a non cruiser or if you're a big ship cruiser but really want to explore the remoteness of an area, this is the perfect vessel to do it at. So I'm going to, just for the sake of the presentation, I'm going to start in Molokai. You would fly to the destination. So if you're looking for a Hawaii experience, we have a 7-night, 8-day experience in the Hawaiian Islands. No time wasted getting there or leaving there. It's fully immersed. So you'll get on there, and I love this photo. It's one of our crew members taking a photo, not so we can sell it later, but we do this so very shortly after embarkation, after you get settled into your cabin, we will have a sheet with everybody's face and name on it. So that's how camaraderie is so quick and instant on our vessel, because we'll always have that access. If you're like, boy, I sat with that really neat person, I want, what's her name again, or what's his name again, we will have all that for you. We really like to create an environment that camaraderie comes very, very instant. So when we're in Molokai, it's really the aloha spirit that gives you the sense of Hawaii from long ago. So there's no stoplights, no high rises, just a welcome, slower pace of life. And we have a great talk story, as they say in Hawaii, with some locals from Molokai. They'll greet us properly. They'll tell you the true, authentic Hawaiian spirit on arriving into Molokai. And then we'll hear legends and lore of taking cultural lessons in the taro patches and learning what comes from taro, of course, making poi. So sitting with locals and really understanding how important taro and poi is to their culture. We'll also have time in Molokai to stretch our legs with a beautiful hike and into the Halawa Valley. And there's a gorgeous towering waterfalls on our way. And it is a beautiful place along the way to go for a hike, understand, be led by one of the great locals there, talking about perhaps medicinal uses from some of their local vegetation, maybe tasting a little bit of fruit that we get to pick along the way, and then really enjoying that. And our crew actually takes in lunch for us because this is all day. It's really a light to moderate hike, but it is a day spent really getting into that great cultural aspect of Hawaii. Later, in the afternoon, in the evening, we'll go to a Molokai Museum and discover the history of this ancient homeland as we feast on generations of recipes prepared by locals. So this stop in particular really is the bona fide cultural stop. And then we'll end the day. Of course, she was on my cover slide there. She's just such a beautiful, beautiful elder from Molokai, but we'll end the evening with a homestyle Hawaiian jam session. So when you start in Molokai, what a beautiful welcoming to the gorgeous Hawaiian Islands. Or if you finish in Molokai, what a gorgeous way to end your 7-night cruise. We will also move to the gorgeous island, the private island of Lana'i. Thousands of feet of cliffs along the shore, ancient volcanoes, plugs sit high above and below the water surface as a host of wide diversity of marine life. This day, we'll be able to get on our snorkel. Our expedition team will help us fit to the right snorkel and mask and fins. And again, if it's been a long time, or perhaps you've never snorkeled before, this is the perfect place to do it because we will handhold you through that entire process. We've got a great noodles that you can float on. We've got certainly a safety vest that you can put on, but just the life above below water is as equally as amazing as life above water. We'll also visit Sweetheart's Rock. It's a sea stack jetting 80 feet above the crashing surf, and it is truly unbelievable. So, where this photo is being taken, we actually start in this area, then we wrap around that beautiful, beautiful volcanic edgeway and end up towards the cliff there on the outside. It's really a neat walk. Then we'll learn about the island's plantation days, right? Do you remember Dole? Of course. And it's no longer there, but it really is fun to go into this beautiful private island and learn all about the plantation days. We'll take a visit to the Lana'i Culture and Heritage Center. And there's plenty of time that we can walk the streets of this quaint island. It really looks just like this. I just left the cultural center and turned the corner and went, oh, well, this is a pretty cool scene. So it's just that great part of Hawaii that is just not often visited. And that just really exploring that backcountry locals. Why do they live there? How did they get there? Chatting with some of the locals, really observing and absorbing into their world. We also have a couple of locals back on board. When we have an amazing meal, we do an evening presentation with some local guests. Again, a great chance to sit and talk and learn about the local culture. And this is back on board the Safari Explorer. I mentioned when we get ready to start snorkeling, we have our expedition leaders that help us see that we're absolutely comfortable. On board the vessel, once we get all of our snorkel, fins, mask, everything all ready, we do have lockers on the aft of our vessel and cleaning buckets. So you just dunk all your gear in at the end and then you store it right on aft deck so you can keep all that gear throughout the entire voyage. And look at this. This is underwater. This is everything. This is probably a bad day of snorkeling, right? But it is still the most stunning day. Perhaps there's no bad day of snorkeling in Hawaii, right? And look at the beautiful green sea turtles and we get to see this particular day. There's a group of us snorkeling and then a group of us kayaking, and we got to shoot or witness both underwater and out of water. So if you didn't want to snorkel, you didn't want it, you can absolutely see all this great culture. These are those lockers that I was telling you about where we get to keep all of our gear in. This is two images. The one on the left is that dunking station I was talking about. And then we get to just pull out all of our gear and get ready for the next day's exploration. Well, who doesn't like to go visit those gorgeous, gorgeous whales? When we're done with viewing those beautiful whales in Alaska, they migrate down to Hawaii to mate and give birth. And the Humpback Marine Sanctuary, located between Lanai and Molokai, because it's that great shallow, warm area, is a perfect breeding ground for searching for dolphins, whales, and other marine life. They are the same whales that we get to follow, which is so much fun for us. And the whales will not eat while they're mating or giving birth in Hawaiian waters. They will go up to 4 months without any food and lose about a third of their body weight. And although the adults aren't eating, the calves are nursing on their mother's 40% milk fat. What a wonderful sight to witness. So once they then migrate 3,000 miles back up to Alaska, all that great behavior for feeding because they're extremely hungry, we get to see. So just a beautiful transition to see mammals in the wild, whether you're right from the deck of our 36 passenger vessel, in a kayak, or in one of our Zodiacs. It is pretty awesome. The next day, we get to wake up to the beautiful, dramatic cliffs. And this day, the captain and crew will seek out some of the best opportunities and the island has in store. So there's a windward and a leeward side to any island, and of course, we do stay on the leeward side. But that really opens up so much opportunity for us to explore. So the captain and crew, by design, keep that itinerary open. So when they hear that there might be a pod of whales, if they hear that something amazing is happening, we can actually respond quickly by all the activities that we do that day. Now, I mentioned, or I maybe I didn't mention, that we have great yoga mats on board. So the morning can start. We'll start with our expedition leader leading us in a nice light stretch, should you want to, because oftentimes we're using some of those muscles we may not have used in a while. So it's just nice to stretch those muscles out on the back of the deck or as the sun is rising. And then if it's an open day, we can take those kayaks right out. Now, on this particular vessel, the Safari Explorer, we have that great swim deck on the back. So we load our Zodiacs from this area, we load our kayaks from this area. And then we also, when there's an open swim day, we can even jump off the side of the vessel or even the back of the vessel. But we really makes it beautiful. This day will also have the opportunity to get out in that Zodiac or in the skiff, that small inflatable boat. Even though the Safari Explorer is small and nimble, this really allows us, if we want to go snorkeling or if we want to go check out whales, to be able to have access very quickly to go see all that great wildlife. Or, of course, just kicking back on board. Everything's included, so you can do as much or as little as you like. So, kicking back on board, enjoying the beautiful scenery, and taking advantage of the complimentary beverages on board is really sometimes a really neat thing to do because we do are just one water line from our deck. So it just makes it so beautiful. Now, just so you know, this vessel is U.S. flagged, so we can leave right out of the Hawaiian Islands. We don't need to stop in an international port. So it really makes it nice if you want to sail this part of the world to have that great access. Now, I'm going to ask for your forgiveness in pronouncing some of these beautiful Hawaiian names. And Diane, if you know how to pronounce this national park, please do. But I'm thrilled that we're going here. We went to another park in years past, which was beautiful as well. But this national park just offers so much for us to see. And we get to spend the day here and we get to explore some of the gorgeous beautiful coral and sponges and tropical fishes this day as well. And we even get to visit some ancient fish ponds and how the locals used to catch the fish, and they still exist today. So this day is absolutely packed. We get to hike the trails of the petroglyphs and check out the great fish ponds and remnants of the fish traps of the locals here. And it's an awesome place to watch bird and relax while on the coral beaches. And this is really another wonderful opportunity to check out some of the green sea turtles. They're just such an abundance there. Now, day 7. Here's another one, Diane. I see you with that smile on your face. So when we're in this wildlife sanctuary, we have a great local naturalist and climb the trails above the Kona coast. And this was really be a wonderful adventure. We get to climb 6,000 feet up the volcano and along and hike in the beautiful misty slopes and create a great natural history interpretation by our guide. You can just see the old, I believe they call that the Jello mold hill, the bottom left, but what an unusual structure. And on this, we'll learn why it's called Jello mold. How did it get that structure? I'm assuming because of the volcanoes there, but there's so much to see and such a diverse area too, right? We always think of Hawaii as those sandy beaches and blue waters. What a really neat way to create diversity on your trip is to look through some of the lava tubes or peer into the pit of a crater. Um, it's just a great way to explore some of the area in that people don't typically get to see. And we are going to have lunch in a coffee plantation on the mountain. And for the final afternoon, we'll go back on board and for one last dip. So it would be a great time too. If anybody wants to get their last yayas out in the beautiful waters of Hawaii, or unless you have a post cruise scheduled with Diane, it's a great way to just really soak everything in, and we'll have the captain's dinner that night as well. So, a very high level glimpse into our 7 night, 8 day trip in Hawaii. And let's just take a quick look at the Safari Explorer. There we go. So with the Safari Explorer, some other great images here. We're kayaking off the back of the vessel. It's really the ambiance is again what you were for breakfast and what you went to dinner. This was the first cruise my husband had ever gone with me with UnCruise Adventures. And I was telling Diane, it seems to be still his favorite. And he loved this. And one of the main reasons he loved it because he got to wear his shorts and t-shirts through the entire time on the cruise. So when I say it's casual, what you wear for breakfast you can wear to dinner. It's really that homespun ambiance on board UnCruise Adventures. Casual and relaxed atmosphere, and the equipment from the kayaks to our zodiacs to our paddle boards. I probably haven't even talked about our paddle boards, but getting out in our paddle boards, they're all top of the line. They need to be. It's what we do day in and day out. And I mentioned the camaraderie, whether it's you're single, you come with your family, or you come as a couple, the camaraderie is absolutely instant on board this vessel. So here's our 36 passenger vessel. This is our layout. And I share this with you mainly so you can see the cabin layout. We do not have any inside cabins like you if you've been on a big ship. This is all outside cabins. We always keep a beautiful walk around decking. We don't leave any of our decking to suites or balconies. We want to make sure everybody has access to get fully immersed on the vessel. And you can either enter into your cabin from the inside of the deck. I'm down on the main deck here. I'll jump up to the cabin deck, or you can enter into your cabin from the outside of the deck. And then this top here is our bridge deck. And these are our Commodore suite. So something for everybody. Let's just take a quick peek at some of our cabins. And we have 6 cabin categories on board. And depending on the cabins, we have singles, doubles, or triples that can be accommodated. All the cabins have heated tile floors in the bathroom, air conditioning. We have great Tempur-Pedic mattresses. Flat screen TVs, not so you can watch TV, but we do have some terrific announcements that we share over the TV. One is our underwater bow camera, so that we can always tune into that channel. The next channel is going to talk about your daily activities, what's going on. Even though our expedition leaders go over it with us every night, well, who can remember all that, right? So just tune into that station and you will know exactly what we're doing when lunch is, when we're supposed to be places, and all of that great stuff. Then the next channel is going to talk about each crew member. It just loops around and talks about shows an image of the crew member and their title. So it makes it nice and easy to remember people and faces on board. And then we have our 4th channel, and that's just going to run a documentary or some sort of movie that pertains to the local area. So all sorts of great stuff on board on our TV channel. We have an intimate library and saloon on board, and this is typically where we have our cocktail hour and any of the guest speakers that come on board. This is the main bar, again, all inclusive. And this area right here is the main lounge. So this is when people come on board. If you want to sit, this is the common area. We have our lending video library, if that TV can be used to pop in a movie if you just want to relax. If you want to relax and we had an evening presentation, but you wanted to stay in your cabin, you certainly can do so. We have speakers that you can tune in directly from your cabin. And who doesn't like to cruise because of the food? And all of our meals are healthful dining experiences that our executive chef use local ingredients to reflect the flavor of the destination. So no matter what destination you're in with UnCruise Adventures, we'll always have something to reflect the locals. So we source all of our fish, all of our fruits and vegetables locally from the destination, not only because it makes sense, it's beautifully and fresh and tasting the destination, but also supporting those local communities. After we'll have an early morning's breakfast with baked on board food, baked on board goods, and we'll have a full breakfast that complements specialty items as well. So some people like to get up and just have a little nosh. Some people like to get up and have a full breakfast, and some people like to get up and have a nosh and a full breakfast. So that is available to them. We'll have our morning activities. Everybody will come back and enjoy lunch, which of course is a range of pasta salads, maybe some sandwiches, our award-winning soups on board. And then we have an afternoon of activities should you want to partake. Again, they are included, so you can do as much or as little as you'd like. And then dinner. We come back for cocktail hours, and dinner will always feature a fresh seafood of the local area, meat and vegetarian dish on board. And if there's any special dietary needs, be sure to let Diane know. She'll let us know, and then the chefs will greet you on board to make sure they have everything you need. So a great farm to table aspect. We do have an open bridge policy on board our vessel. So come up and check out the bridge, hang out with the captain, the crew. I promise you, we will put you to work helping us spot some wildlife, which is always the name of the game here. And I've got just a slight delay in the last few slides I have. So my apology. All right, the next slide is going to talk about what is included. Come on, you can do it. Although these three people are fine to look at. Let me just try it. There we go. Just a little delay there. So what's included? I keep talking about what's included, and it's all the activities, the shore excursions, the presentations, all the trainings, and all the planning and managing by our expedition team. We spend a lot of time in national parks, preserves, and monuments, and all of that is included. Narration and expertise by our expedition team. Meet and greet day of embarkation and day of disembarkation is included. All of our meals are included both on and off the vessel. And in Hawaii in particular, when we take that beautiful hike to the Halawa Valley, our crew does pack in a great lunch. So just know all meals are included. All the beverages are included, both alcoholic and non-alcoholic. And we have some great wellness amenities on board with our hot tubs located on the outside. We got some great fitness equipment and of course those yoga mats that you saw earlier as well. Now, the one thing with our hot tub, and I know this gal is relaxing in the sun in the hot tub, but for Hawaii in particular, by design, we don't fill it because from Kona, from the Big Island over to the Maui County Islands, which is Maui, Lana'i, and Molokai, that can get a bit choppy. So we don't want any of that water sloshing. And when I say it can be, so it's a hit and miss. Mother Nature, we're at her mercy, but we don't fill it up in Hawaii. What's not included is our port taxes and fee, which Diane can go over those with you. And we have our gratuity. There are discretionary gratuity, but they are not included. And remember, airfare to and from the islands would not be included. And of course, Diane would certainly ensure that all of you are well protected by a great travel protection plan. Yes, she's smiling. Yes, we all want to be protected these days. Also, Diane has access to our digital brochure. Now, this has everything in it. It functions just like any normal digital brochure, but I like to say with this one, you can go cyber cruising because we do have videos embedded in this brochure. So be sure to reach out to Diane, or I'm sure she'll follow up with this brochure in an email. It's really a terrific way to check out what we do. And my last slide, and I'm sure I had shared with you when I was that snorkeling. So the day we went snorkeling, there was sea turtles under the water as well as above the water. Well, I was in a kayak, and this was my photo of that beautiful little sea turtle we were all checking out. So with that, if you want to book one of these amazing adventures, there is so many reasons to work with one of our wonderful partners, which is Diane. She knows our product inside and out. She specializes in this type of travel, which is so key because she has access to suppliers that deliver this type of specialty travel. And we can't thank her enough for allowing us time with all of you to feature UnCruise Adventures. So with that, Diane, I will turn over the mic to you to see if we have any questions.
Thank you so much, Julie. Oh, mentally, I'm already there. It just wasn't that wonderful. Oh my goodness. So if anybody has any questions, you could, we were a small group today. You could unmute yourself, or you could type it into the chat, or you can send me an email, and that's all right.
Oops, sorry about that.
Just so beautiful. I mean, being in Hawaii, you know, when you see a green area, you know that it's been a very, very long time since there was a lava flow through there. That's how you can tell. And so as you're going along, it can be green, and then on the other side of the road, it can look like the surface of a moon. Just incredible. Yeah. Yeah, just incredible.
Yeah.
But so I don't think we have any questions then, Julie. So I want to thank you so much for putting this together and being with us today, and giving us all the chance to dream again. Oh, and we have hope. We know there will come an end to this, and we will be able to travel and to experience aloha again. And so thank you so much. And I'd like to thank all of my clients for joining. I will follow up with the email and the digital brochure for you, so you can also take a look at your leisure, share it with your friends, and start to dream about Hawaii.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for hosting, Diane. What a terrific little getaway to the tropics.
That's right. Thank you.
All right, everyone. Have a great day.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.